Welcome to another beautiful morning. It's another beautiful day to be happy. It's another beautiful day to be smiling. This is your newspaper review on Idea Television, and I am not alone, but I am Jacob Deborah, by the way. I am with Barrister, our able analyst, aka The Law. Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
My pleasure being here once again. I'm doing great.
Barrister, I'm so jealous of your tie. I used to tell you to give me your plug for shirt, but Barrister has refused to give me his plug. But it's fine, no problem. Since you want to be selfish with your plug, it's fine. But I'll find my plug. Good morning to all our viewers out there. It's another beautiful day to begin. The newspaper headlines. And the first newspaper we'll be starting with is the Punch newspaper front page, where we see that Tinubu moves to appoint new ambassadors amidst U.S. tension in page 2, and we also see that Diri joins APC, tags PDP sinking ship in page 18, and we also see in page 24 that fresh travels tax scheme worth $1 billion sparks protests, and the big headline: government battles Wike as PDP functions just for control in page 2. If you look beneath it, we see that government polls, Mupitan visit Anambra, party signs peace accord in page 18, and OPS Labour rejects 20,000 notes in page 21. NDLA also discovers a new cannabis in California allowed in Lagos State in page 5, and in page 9 we see that ANPP block sets tough firms to back Tinubu's 2027 bid. Now to the story of Wike-backed faction. We see that the crisis within Nigeria's main opposition party, the PDP, that's People Democratic Party, escalated on Monday, that's yesterday, as loyalists of Federal Capital Territory Minister Nsom Wike took control of PDP National Secretariat in Abuja. The group led by Abdurrahman Mohammed declared him acting national chairman, displacing the faction loyal to Umar Damagum and backed by PDP governors. The surprise takeover causes chaos in the secretariat and prompting police intervention to temporary sealing of the building to restore order. We've been seeing this tension from yesterday on the newspaper headlines. That tension and confusion has been going on with the opposition party, and at this point, we stop to ask ourselves: are they actually ready for the next election in 2027?
Obviously, they are not. At least for now, they are not. Because for one, how can you have a minister under the main party in Nigeria, the All Progressive Congress, being the one to lead your party? You know, when you have a minister like Nyesom Wike, who is still a member of the PDP, but is a minister in the APC government, and it's not even like it was a unity agreement or something. He's still the one leading your party, and in fact, he's the one leading factions in your party and taking charge and trying to even put in some members of your council, of your elect. It just shows that the party is not ready for elections. Really, PDP, they are not ready for elections. I've not seen any one of the candidates that might be running against the president, Tinubu. I've not seen any of them really come out or interest me. You know, they just seem like a house in disarray at this moment. And really, thank God they have a year plus, or a year, yes, within a year to actually, not even within a year itself. They have probably 6-7 months, because electioneering will start next year, probably mid of next year. We'll start seeing campaign posters and all of that. So they need to get their house in order. How can they get their house in order? They should do away with people that don't have the interest of the party at heart. Do away with those people and stop letting them meddle in your internal affairs. So this will go a long way in helping them. The PDP as a party right now doesn't seem like a party that will actually wrestle power from the APC. Not just in the federal level, but even across states. I mean, you see the Bayelsa governor now is moving to APC. A lot of their governors have moved to APC. So these are the issues for PDP, and hopefully they sort out their issues before electioneering begins.
Okay, we also see that Tinubu sets to appoint new ambassadors amid the rising tension by the U.S. We see that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has finalized the long-awaited list of ambassadors to head Nigerian foreign mission worldwide. After a month of diplomatic inactivity. Presidency officials told the Punch that the nominees is on the way as some original listed candidates have died, retired, or become ineligible. The Senate has screened the nominees earlier and updated the list and is expected to be released soon. Now, a lot of reaction came about this particular news online, and most of the comments were, is it because of what Trump came out to say that actually made or put him on his toes to appoint new foreign ambassadors, Nigerian ambassadors to stand for Nigeria? So all this while, is it that we've not had any ambassadors that were, and you can see they've listed it that some died, some retired, and some were not supposed to still be in that particular seat?
Obviously, it's because of what the issue we are having with the U.S. government now that's making us realize that we need ambassadors. What we usually have is charge d'affaires, those temporary people occupying those positions. And it baffles me. We are reactive. We are not proactive. It's a slap on this government's face. You've been in government since 2023 May. This is your second year in office, and you still do not have ambassadors to a country as important as the United States of America. Imagine you're one of your biggest trading partners, one of the people you need to actually. I just even imagine how is leadership done in this country. You take it for granted that you don't need an ambassador to the United States of America. And now we're having these issues where the ambassador needs to sort out Ministry of Foreign. You are now thinking, oh, let us update. Senator screened those people long time ago, yet you didn't even happen. I don't know how we just do haphazard things in this country, and you think things will just go smoothly. You can't be nonchalant about some things. You need diplomacy. You need ambassadors. This is a period where countries are collaborating on so many issues. Even China and America that are fighting daily, they have ambassadors China has ambassador to USA. USA has ambassador to China. Yeah, so these are the issues. A country you are not at war with, a country you are not fighting. Most of these countries you are not fighting, and you don't have ambassadors there. So, but we thank God that they've done the needful. But like I said, it's reactive. It's not a proactive measure. Hopefully, the ambassadors will get themselves, so they will appoint good, credible, and competent hands, and they will get us sorted out. Nigeria, in fact, in the last couple of years, in the world stage, Nigeria has been a mess. We've not done anything that will impress world leaders, or that you say people of the world will say, oh, Nigeria we are strong diplomatically. I mean, you see smaller nations like Rwanda, even Ghana doing a lot of stuff. Their diplomacy is out there, but Nigeria here, because of incompetence, we are seeing this sort of issues. Hopefully, we get it sorted out, and it ends well for us, especially as regards this U.S. issue.
Okay, moving to the next newspaper front page. It's the Daily Trust newspaper. We see that at 1,422 naira records highest gain in October. We also see that parties voters reject Niger local government polls, Bango conveys attack, and 19 bandits killed in Kano as border attacks escalate. We also see that the U.S. threats what federal government should do. Diplomats have come out to say we have conveyed our position in the House of Representatives. We also see that pro-Wike NWC factions take over PDP secretariat, and pregnancy cases on rise in Borno IDP camps. And Nigeria's stock shared at 242.9 billion naira amidst Trump's threat. We also see that strike Tinubu orders in midday resolution. Now we'll be diving into the news of the Nigerian stock shared 244.9 billion naira amidst Trump threats. We see that the Nigerian fiscal market has pledged at its start of November after U.S. President Donald Trump threatened possible military action against Nigeria over alleged religious persecution. The naira fell by 1.3% to 1,436.37 naira per dollars at the official market and 1,455 at the parallel market. The investor confidence wavered as Nigerian exchange is also turned to bearish as all shares index dropped by 0.25%, weighing 245.88 billion naira off the market value. Trump's statement on this true social platform caused Nigeria of committing a Christian genocide, prompting global concerns about diplomatic and economic fallout. The market analysts attributed to sharp decline to the geopolitical tension and investors' fear. Oil and gas, banking and insurance stock are recording loss, with the Eurobond yield climbed amidst the rising risk aviation. I think this statement from Trump has caused a lot of will I say damage to Nigeria, not just the religious part of it, which of course we know that now the religious tension in the country is rising. Christians are coming out to say yes, what Trump is saying is the truth. Some Christians are not agreeing to it because of some reasons, and some other people are coming out to say that Muslims are also being killed. You're just seeing the Christians because most of the states or most of the places that are being affected are more dominated by Christians, indigenes. Now, the question is, what happens to our economic status? Because a lot of things are falling. Our economic background, our economic standard is falling, and not just the economic standard. A lot of things. Investors are beginning to get scared to invest now in the country. I do not know the reason why exactly. Is it because of the issue of security? We've always had this issue of security before now, and investors were still investing. Of course, they were still safe. But why now? Why now? As after Trump made that declaration?
Of course, there will be a lot of economic problems that will come as a result of the threats of the U.S. government. I mean, when the U.S. says they want to get involved in annihilating these terrorists, definitely so investors will be wary. Really, because of the security challenges, we've lost some investment over the period of time. But like you said, there have been investors that have still kept their investments in Nigeria, especially in the northern part of Nigeria. You can still see investments there coming, even despite the security challenges. But when Trump made that statement, of course, there will be worries. A lot of people will be worried that, is he going to carry out this threat? Is he going to still annihilate this? And it just bears the question that, what is the Nigerian government doing
about it?
What are we doing about it? You know, I've been reading a lot of stuff on X and on Facebook, and you know, some people say Nigeria should challenge the US. What can the US do? I mean, if the US just gives Nigeria 2 or 3 sanctions, our economy will tumble, because we are not a producing nation. The countries that have been sanctioned in the past, what they usually do is to turn inward. Like Russia, for example, the Chinese, they turn inward and begin to manufacture these things. They don't need to export them into the country anymore. You understand? But Nigeria, because we lack that production capacity, if the US decides today to sanction us, I mean, we have our leaders that travel abroad for checkups. We don't even have a good health system in Nigeria. Are these the people that you say that they want to? So definitely, when the US is talking to Nigeria, they are not talking. They will affect us economically, and it's just because that the government should be able to. I don't know. They should be able to liaise. I mean, when you were talking earlier on that we didn't even have an ambassador to the USA, what we had was chart their affairs. So if you don't have an ambassador, if you cannot be diplomatic enough, and I doubt the diplomatic acumen of the federal government as it stands now. I doubt if President Tinubu will be able to speak one-on-one with President Trump, maybe in a media gathering, and be able to answer questions. Because I just doubt it, because some of these things, and these things are needed. These things are needed. Now, let me also talk about the unity of the country. I see a lot of people talking about unity of the country. See, if you want to talk about unity of a country should not be on your own terms, on your own specific terms. For example, you say, oh, you want unity in this country, but I must be the one that should be the leader. Why are you talking like that? You say, oh, you want unity in this country, but people from a particular tribe should never be president. What kind of unity are you speaking of? You must actually, if you want to say you are talking of unity, which is what is actually, the country is now being divided along religious lines. And that's the truth of the matter. And it is very, very dangerous and a slippery slope. You understand? I remember I was discussing with a friend of mine, and I just told him that, look, they said that they would deal with terrorists. That's the US government. Why are you angry as a Muslim that they said they would deal with terrorists? Are you a terrorist? He said no. He said, but it was a slap on him. I said, it's not a slap on you. They said they would deal with terrorists. But you are saying, and it's not that they would deal. They said if Nigeria fails to deal with the terrorists, are you a terrorist? You understand? So these are the issues that we need to address as a people. You understand? How do Muslims think? How do the Christians think? And we need to come together to the table and solve the killings. Like I said yesterday, I said Muslims are also being killed. When you go to Zamfara, go to Katsina, go to this thing. But maybe they've not shouted enough. I was on Twitter, I quoted someone's tweet and I said, you've not screamed enough. It's probably the Christians that are screaming about these killings. That's why they are the ones being heard. It's not. You cover the killings or something. So we need to address these situations of these killings and the unity of our nation. Then the government needs to find a way to liaise with the US government so that we don't all suffer. I mean, Nigeria, thank God our naira to dollar is still a little bit stable and I think we even gained against the dollar recently. But before we suffer before we see the dollar being the naira being 2,000 to $1, let us do something immediately and very, very fast.
What do you think can be done?
Yeah.
What do you think can be done?
For the naira to
remain stable.
Yes, so it's just what I've stated. Number one, you have to meet the US president. Okay. You understand? Our government has to liaise with the US government. And you don't just go with strong head and say, no, there are no religious killings, there are no this, there are no that. You go with a tone, a soft tone. If I was the president, I won't go with a hardline stance. I'll go with a soft tone and say, look, Mr. President, the government has already taken a stance that there is no religious killing. You present the facts and you say, maybe in Katsina, this is what's going on. In Benue, this is what's going on. The US government will definitely counter that and say no. Because if you look at it in some sort of way, in a minute way, there has been some kind of religious tensions and religious genocide in some of these communities, like in Benue, Plateau, and all of that. Because whenever they kill in the those you will see some people who come and take over those communities. So the US government have this fact. And the truth of the matter is that the US government statement, they've been able to divide us along religious lines. As in, we are divided along religious lines now. The Christian South and the Muslim North, because of this statement. So the government of Nigeria needs to assuage the US government, you understand, by saying, look, you don't need to step in. What you should do is to support us. We are committed to destroying and fighting terrorism in Nigeria. The Christian genocide that you're talking of, we are committed to solving it. You speak to the US government. You tell them that, look, give us weapons, give us money. I mean, the South African government did it. When South Africa, they were being accused of killing white farmers not too long ago, this year. The South African president went to the US, to the White House, and spoke with President Trump, that's Cyril Ramaphosa, and his team did a wonderful job. And they got what they wanted. But like I said, I doubt the capacity of our own government here. I can't see, I hardly hear our president when he's speaking. Yes. I hardly hear him do media chats. You understand? So these are the issues here. Do we have a team that can actually go to the US and say, sir, this is what's going on, so that we don't face economic hardship as a result of these threats and this downturn? Then we also need to start producing, like I said earlier on. We need to start looking inwards. What can we do? Those things that we are importing from outside of the country, what can we do as a people so that we can, thank God for Dangote refinery that is on board now, but other sectors of the economy as well. We need to start seeing all these goods that we have the raw materials to do. We should start encouraging people to go into that so that no nation will threaten us and we will suffer economic downturn. So those are just the two options that we can just look at.
Thank you very much, Barrister. Okay, we'll be diving into the next newspaper front page. It's the Vanguard newspaper, where we see that pension fund investments in federal government security rise 18.1% to 15.8 trillion naira in page 19. We also see that Anambra INEC vows enhance result management, credible polls in page 11. And in page 18, we see that security men shot PDP secretariat amid escalating tension. We also see that NERD faults federal government welfare claims demands truth over friction in page 25. And the big headline, Trump NSA service chief meets as U.S. president intensifies threats in page 5. And we also see that there's a shake-up in the Navy redeploys 65 rare admirals in page 9. And 2027 after Ekiti, APC stakeholders moves consensus option in page 9. Now to the Trump NSA service chiefs meets the U.S. president. The story in full states that the Nigerian National Security Advisor Nuhu Rabadu meets with the service chiefs and intelligence head in Abuja after the U.S. President Donald Trump threatened possible ground and airstrike against Nigeria. Trump accuses Nigerian government of failing to protect Christians, warning the military action would be fast and virtuous as well as sweet. The swift reaction neighboring Chad such its borders with Nigeria, citing security concerns and possible spillover effects. Across Nigeria, political leaders and groups expressed their alarm. Osun Governor Ademola Adeleke called for diplomatic dialogue, while others urged President Tinubu to reject the foreign intervention and implement state policy to tackle insecurity. Now, on one hand, I like the fact that you made that in one of your statements with the last comment you made, that beyond just threatening Nigeria, how can you come in? How can you help? That's things that a lot of Nigerians have come out to say, instead of trying to threaten us and causing more war, because you're just causing more problems you're doing more harm than good with your statement, and you've not helped or you've not curbed any situation. Now, the federal government, they're trying to curb the situation of insecurity in Nigeria, but you with your statements have come out to incite more insecurity issues, because of course a lot of people will want to come and fighting against and for, and this has caused, like we said, has caused so many comments from so many people. Why not come with us and try to dialogue and help us with amenities and maybe probably technological appliances that can help increase our security value? But on that part, I want to have you say something. What do you think can be done when it comes to security issues? And you know that we've had so many technological appliances that are going around, but are not as effective as they should be.
Yeah, so like you said, or like we both said, that the we should be looking at the USA supporting us more, probably with more equipment, fighter jets, more ammunitions and all of that, which is what I think the Nigerian government will be looking at getting from the United States. And really, if you look at it, the Trump administration has even helped us a lot, because they gave us approvals for some of the weapons we are using now. I mean, we have Apache helicopters from the US. They've given us some equipment. But in the long run, looking at it, the NSA met the service chiefs, they had a meeting, probably discussing about this diplomatic route and see how they can solve the security issue. My problem is, beyond even meeting the USA to say, let them help us and all of that, I do not think we have the political will to want to solve the security challenge. And that's the major problem. I feel there are some people benefiting from it, and they feel like if we do not continue in this trajectory, it will be bad for business for us. Because what does it take to stop a bunch of people, ragtag people, moving around with AK-47 and just killing people up and down, if the government is not benefiting from it? I think there's a statement that has been created to Sani Abacha, President Sani Abacha, former President Sani Abacha. I don't know how true the statement is. He said if terrorism lasts more than a day, he said then the government is in support of it, something like that. So you look at all these things that have been going on since 2009. 2009, we've had security challenges that have metamorphosed, that have, now you have splinter groups, you have kidnappings, there are people benefiting from this carnage. And they want to use this carnage either to achieve a political victory or is good for business. And that's the thing. So our government, there are sometimes I've even heard some soldiers say they'll be fighting somewhere, they are killing, burning a community. They will hear a command not to leave their posts. In this same Nigeria. So these are the little issues. The US government, like I've said, the US can only do so much. But if we want to solve security challenge in Nigeria, it's Nigerians that will solve it. I mean, the US has entered some countries in trying to help them, and we know how the US government is like fire. They can either help you or destroy you. There are some countries that USA has helped, Japan, Germany. These are some countries that USA has helped to rebuild. There are some countries too that USA too, when they entered, they ended up being worse. Afghanistan, Libya. You understand? So if you yourself as a country are not determined to build or to help yourself, you don't have the political will, nothing will happen. President Donald Trump will give you weapons, do what you want to do. But at the end of the day, if there is no political will, if there is no competence in leadership, we will still have this carnage of security, this thing going all around us in Nigeria. I just hope that the president, because I always pray a prayer for my country, and I say that God should give our leaders wisdom. No matter who is there, God should give our leaders wisdom to be able to rule us well. Because at the end of the day, they affect us all, especially as Nigerians. In Africa, our leaders also affect us. So God will give President Tinubu wisdom to be able to, so that we tackle this security challenge once and for all. And again, not just the presidency, I see a lack of, what will I say? Even, I'm talking about northern Nigeria, because it's northern Nigeria that we are talking of. I see something they call a lack of willpower amongst them in solving this issue. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. For example, they go to your community, they ransack it there. You will see the emir, you will say, oh, there is this levity that some of them have over the security challenge. I just see it among northern leaders, and I'm calling out to them. Don't just take it as levity. You see some people, they will just bribe one emir or bribe one person, and that will be the end of the matter. No, don't just take it as with levity. Speak out. Call out to the government. Speak out. Don't just... Because at the end of the day, it's your people that are dying. And death is not something that you play with. So please, let them speak out. Let them protest. Let them come out the more. I mean, when it was President Goodluck Jonathan time, because maybe it was a southern president that time, we could hear all of them speaking out now. I was in Nigeria. We were in this country together. When Chibok girls happened, we know what happened to the country. Now that even more than Chibok girls has happened, we are not hearing anything. What's going on?
Okay, we're diving into the next newspaper front page. It's the New Telegraph newspaper. We see that Chad closes border with Nigeria over possible U.S. military actions. We've been seeing a lot of this particular kind of headlines. We also see that there's a tension at PDP headquarters as fraction loyals to Ayawu takes over secretariat in page 2 and page 6. Moving to the next newspaper front page, the Guardian newspaper, we see that ADC slams Tinubu over Trump military threat raising insecurity in page 3. And in that same page, we see that PDP police shot Wadata Plaza Legacy House as Mohammed assumes office. We also see that Togo, Niger, Benin owes Nigeria $20 million for electricity supplies in 6 months in page 3 of the newspaper. Now, Trump threat sparkles investors' fear as economic split on impact. That headline is seen in page 6. And in page 19, we see that federal government unveils 50 tax exemptions relief to caution new fiscal reform impact. We also see that the report blames the government officials for 74% attacks on journalists. That news can be found in page 7. We also see that there's a resident doctor kick as federal government claims payment of 31 billion arrears, and shake up in Navy as Abbas redeploys 65 rear admirals. Now we'll be going on a short break. When we come back, we'll be diving into our tech news. Do stay with us.
Number 9, hyper-personalized AI tutors and education tech. Education is going through a shift similar to what we've seen in entertainment and shopping. hyper-personalization. Instead of one-size-fits-all lessons, AI tutors adapt in real time to how a student learns. Khan Academy launched Khanmigo, an AI-powered guide that helps students with math, science, and coding, while also assisting teachers with lesson planning. Duolingo uses AI to personalize language lessons, serving over 80 million monthly users worldwide. Global Market Insights projects that the AI and education market could surpass $30 billion by 2032. By 2026, AI tutors may become as common as textbooks once were. Number 11, blockchain beyond finance. Blockchain isn't just about cryptocurrency anymore. Governments and corporations are deploying it to verify supply chains, secure digital identities, and reduce fraud. The European Union has been piloting blockchain for cross-border customs and logistics, while IBM's Food Trust platforms being used by Walmart to track produce safety from farm to shelf. South
secures U.S. approval for NVIDIA chips export. Tech giant Microsoft plans to boost its total investment in the United Arab Emirates to $15 billion by 2029, with most of its funds going to the AI data centers and cloud infrastructure across the country. Microsoft Vice Chair President Brad Smith confirmed that the company has received approval from Trump administration to export NVIDIA advanced AI chips to the UAE, a key step in supporting nation growing artificial intelligence ambition. The UAE has been aggressively positioning itself in the global AI hub, but its past technology ties with China have raised in Washington. Smith noted that Abu Dhabi-based AI firm G42, in which Microsoft holds minority stake and has made enormous progress, complying with U.S. law and standard AI governance. The latest export approval allows Microsoft to use 10,000 of NVIDIA A100, H100, and GB300, as well as the GPUs in its UAE operation, significantly expanding its computing power for AI development. Despite U.S. lawmakers expressing concerns over UAE's close relationship with China, the move highlights Washington's border strategy to strengthen tech cooperations with trusted Middle Eastern allies. Now, this news is beautiful. Yesterday, we saw that the U.S. was trying to curb some chip selling to China, countries like China and the rest of its kind. But now we're seeing that they are freely giving it to the UAE, the Arab Emirates, and I stopped to wonder and ask, what's the difference?
No, there are difference between the two chips. The US said that yesterday they were saying they won't give the best chips to other countries, but there will definitely be some advanced AI chips. They will definitely allow NVIDIA to sell those ones. At least it's good for business. I mean, when you invest in a country of $15 billion, you know what you are going to get from that country for you to be able to invest $15 billion. So the USA allowing NVIDIA to give some of it. Even Nigeria can have access to NVIDIA's advanced AI chips if we want to. But I mean, the best of the best will definitely not be given to most of these countries. USA will want to keep those ones. But back to the story, I think Microsoft, for them to say they want to invest $15 billion in the UAE is a good one for both Microsoft and the United Arab Emirates. I mean, you are going to see a lot of AI labs. You are going to see a lot of technological labs coming on board in the UAE. I mean, UAE has been one of these countries where as at 2004, 2005, you started hearing of United Arab Emirates, you started hearing of Dubai, we started hearing of Abu Dhabi. And, you know, they've been doing a lot of amazing stuff because of leadership. Simply because of leadership. But now if you come, let's take it to Africa. Africa, have we really put ourselves on that front burner to be able to say, oh, we can attract a $15 billion investment? As Nigeria puts itself in that position to be able to attract $15 billion investment from Microsoft and all. What we hear about is $500 million, $200 million. But we've not built enough infrastructure like the United Arab Emirates to be able to attract this sort of investment. Hopefully, as time goes on, with more wisdom from our leadership, we'll be able to attract this sort of investment to Nigeria as well and Africa as a whole. But now, if we look at it, Africa is almost like a mess. when you have issues in Tanzania, Nigeria has issues. I mean, Cote d'Ivoire has issues. Kenya has issues. A lot of countries have issues in Africa now because of bad leadership. Leaders that just want to stay in power and do what. So hopefully we get a new generation or a new crop of leaders that understand what it is to attract foreign investment into our country. Yeah.
Okay, so yesterday we saw a tech news concerning how they wanted to advance AI in relation with the human brain, and we were talking about data privacy and cyber security, and one of which is what we're going to talk about now. We see the next tech news that University of Pennsylvania calls for FBI after cyber attack exposes alumni and donor data. Now, this particular attackers actually hacked in. I don't know how they did it, but they sent messages to alumni, like as an administrative of the school or the university which they graduated from, asking for some of the money. And these are the kind of data we are saying. These data are released. How did they get their data down to their numbers and being able to even pose as an administrative personnel to this particular alumni is something that we ask ourselves, because of course if we release a lot of data to this AI chip, this is something we're saying, we release a lot of data and we know that technology has helped us to be able to keep in our archives a lot of information that which we know that before now we wouldn't have been able to keep. Now so many people can have information of people who have left the school years back and they just have their information, but how do we get to protect these information to actually prevent something like this? Because I want to imagine something like this happen in Nigeria, and you get to meet alumni of probably one of the top universities in Nigeria, and when you meet these alumni, of course you know they'll be doing well for themselves by now, and extorting from them.
So, like we always say, data privacy is very, very important, So, as the world advances in technology, as the world advances in maybe AI, artificial intelligence, all those kind of stuff, we will need to have strong data privacy laws, strong data protection in Nigeria, cyber security in the world in general, and also in Nigeria. I mean, a lot of, and again, the thing with technology is as technology advances to these hackers, these cyber criminals too, they also find a way to advance. So we have to be, the world has to be a step ahead. Government institutions, technological providers, they have to be a step ahead of these hackers and kidnappers. Because it's very bad. Sometimes there was one day I got a message from Telegram, from someone on Telegram, and the person said, oh, they found my picture somewhere. I should click on this link to be able to access that picture. If I had clicked on that link, only God knows what would have happened to my Telegram page or what would have happened to my phone. Understand? So having this sort of access to other people's information is something that we need to ensure that as individuals, as corporations, as a government, we need to ensure that we don't give these criminals a chance. Because at the end of the day, there will always be criminals in our society. There will always be people that want to take advantage of us. But once there are provisions made, once there are enhanced systems in place to stop cyber criminals from committing their crimes, then you see that we will be better for it in the long run.
I like the fact that they were able to find out this particular issue, and they were able to call the FBI, of course, to curb this issue that is happening. It's good to see that they are at hand, but if you look at the news is stating that they do not know where and how the hackers got into their systems. Now, my question is, most of the people who are using these technological appliances do not have enough knowledge about the technology they are using, and that's why, of course, if somebody gets into your house, it's just like, I don't know my house. I don't really know how the doors in my house and the windows in my house that are presently in the house, and I go and close one door and close the other door, and the other doors are left opened. Of course, we know that thief can get into those through those doors, and now that is an issue. How do we curb the issue of enlightening people who use this technology well about this technology, so that we can stop? Because of course we'll keep hearing these cyber issues because we don't have people who man this thing that know enough or have enough knowledge about these particular technology appliances that they have.
Yeah. So the first thing that we need to, tech companies need to be able to educate individuals as to their products. And I think some tech companies do that. You know, if you, for example, let me just bring it home. If you buy a phone here, there is a manual for
I wanted to actually say that, but can we go beyond, because we know that so many people, a lot of people do not actually get the time to read this manual. The other time we were talking about cookies, accepting cookies, people do not go through that list. Can we have something beyond the book and papers that they bring for manuals, as manuals for these people?
So first off, it's built on the individuals themselves. They must be encouraged to read these guidelines, these manuals, because we are moving into an age whereby technology is more advanced than you can ever think of now. We are going into places where robots will begin to do human jobs. So you must understand the kind of age you are in. I mean, you are talking about artificial intelligence taking over a lot of stuff in the country. So normal individuals themselves must be told that, look, you must understand what this technology is about. Because at the end of the day, if anything happens to you, and maybe, for example, now, as to the cookies, they will go to it and say you accepted the cookies, even though you didn't read it. You understand? There's something we always say, they say ignorance of the law is not an excuse. You cannot claim not to know. So individuals must be forced, if that word can be used, to understand what they are actually doing with technology. So that in a situation, for example, if you have a phone, you must go through the manual. You must understand what this phone can do. There are a lot of updates I see WhatsApp. I go through those WhatsApp. You see on your status, you see WhatsApp. I go through those so that we know the new features and we understand what it's about. You know, so people too must be made aware that, look, this is what we are doing. The technology companies can only do so much. They can only tell you, for example, now, if WhatsApp posts on the status, some people will still scroll past it and say, oh, wait, what does WhatsApp? But maybe WhatsApp is posting something that might be good for your own knowledge. For example, now, instead they have two-factor authentication. Most people don't know that they can secure their phones or their WhatsApp, their Instagram with two-factor authentication. They just go about their business. But this is something that WhatsApp posted on its status. This is something that has been trending, that Instagram has given you information about and how to go about it. So individuals themselves, we must also we must not be living in ignorance as to some of this stuff. I told you what happened to me recently, where Telegram, there was a message from one of my contacts that said that he saw this thing, I should click. This is the second time it's happening. The first time it happened, I didn't click. The second time it's happening. So that means that person's phone has been hacked and is using to wants to extort from people. You see some calls. Thank God for Truecaller now. You see some calls, they will just put scammer on the call. So the citizens ourselves, we have to try and gain knowledge. Then also tech companies, they should also keep on informing us and encouraging us to read some of these guidelines for our own protection and our own good. Because at the end of the day, it has to be a partnership between individuals and these tech companies and also regulatory agencies. That's the government itself.
Okay, thank you very much, Barrister. Thank you. We'll be drawing the curtain now on the newspaper review. But before we go, do well to follow us on all our social media platforms as displayed on your screen. I want to say a big thank you to our analyst, able journalist, able the law. Sorry, you know now you're entering the journalism field. Yeah, you have started. But anyway, thank you very much, Barrister. And thank you to all our viewers out there for staying glued to your screen. Do well to continue to stay glued because another innovative program will be coming after now. The Idea Morning Digest will be coming. I am Jacob Deborah, and this was your newspaper review. And like I would always say, stay informed, stay safe. Bye for now.